The capital of Ukraine, Kyiv, bears yet another scar from the relentless conflict that has gripped the nation for months. Russian forces have struck residential apartment blocks, bringing devastation to civilians and leaving communities shattered, families mourning and lives upended. The attacks reveal a pattern of behaviour described by German Defence Minister Boris Pistorius as a contempt for humanity. Speaking from Berlin, Pistorius emphasised that these actions are not limited to military objectives, but strike directly at civilian life. He said it is very evident and clear that Putin's goal is to make the winter as unbearable as possible for Ukraine, to destroy morale and to break the resistance of the Ukrainian people. He is not succeeding in this. Nevertheless, the attacks are terrible and massively violate international law. More contempt for humanity is hardly imaginable. It is clear that we will not abandon Ukraine. It can continue to rely on us. The message is stark. The ongoing aggression is intended not merely to achieve tactical gains, but to undermine the spirit of the Ukrainian population through fear, hardship and destruction. By targeting residential areas, Russian forces aim to erode morale, disrupt daily life and coerce a nation into submission. Yet despite these efforts, the resilience of Ukrainians remains unbroken. Families rebuild, neighbours help one another, and communities find ways to sustain life even amidst the rubble. Children play in makeshift shelters, volunteers distribute aid, and ordinary citizens demonstrate extraordinary courage every day. International support has been steadfast. Germany, alongside numerous allies, has consistently affirmed its commitment to Ukraine's sovereignty, providing aid, intelligence and military support. Boris Pistorius' words make it clear abandoning Ukraine is not an option. The German government stands firmly beside a nation under siege, pledging both material assistance and moral solidarity. The attacks, which Pistorius describes as massive violations of international law, form part of a broader strategy that disregards conventions protecting civilians. International observers have repeatedly condemned such acts, emphasising that targeting residential areas is unethical and illegal under established wartime rules. Ukraine continues to mobilise, defend and persevere. Local authorities work tirelessly to maintain infrastructure, coordinate emergency response and provide for displaced residents. The approaching winter, energy shortages and constant threats do not weaken their determination. Instead, they strengthen the resolve to defend their homeland. Ukrainian soldiers train checkpoints, remain vigilant, and civilians return to damaged neighbourhoods, determined to reclaim life even amid destruction. The attacks of recent days demonstrate a calculated attempt to impose psychological and physical suffering, but the response has been unwavering resistance and unity. The international community reacts with condemnation, support and urgent calls for accountability. German leadership, as articulated by Pistorius, frames the attacks as a moral crisis demanding response. Failure to address such violations would embolden aggressors and endanger global norms. Winter, allegedly weaponized against Ukraine, symbolises a broader campaign to inflict hardship, yet Ukraine's resolve, bolstered by steadfast allies, continues to endure. Every missile, every strike, every act of aggression meets defensive measures, humanitarian support and international scrutiny. Germany's stance reflects a commitment to uphold humanitarian principles, maintain legal accountability and support the Ukrainian population through extraordinary challenges. For us, it is clear we will not abandon Ukraine. It can continue to succeed. Rely on us, Pistorius reiterates. These words convey both condemnation of acts displaying more contempt for humanity than is hardly imaginable and reassurance that Ukraine is not alone. The commitment is tangible: military support, humanitarian aid, diplomatic pressure and an unwavering message that aggression will not succeed. Life continues despite hardship. Communities rebuild, volunteer networks operate and international aid arrives to sustain civilians facing unimaginable conditions. Kyiv's resilience is a testament to human endurance. Boris Pistorius' statements resonate beyond Berlin. Echoing in the streets of Kyiv, in the hearts of citizens and in international diplomatic halls. Even amidst devastation, there is solidarity, hope, and an unyielding commitment to justice. The attacks reveal not only tactical aims, but the moral stakes of war itself. Germany's continued support ensures that Ukraine faces these trials with allies at its side, demonstrating that courage, determination and international solidarity remain stronger than any campaign of fear. The cost of conflict is visible in every destroyed building, every displaced family, every scar on the city. Yet every act of resistance, every gesture of aid, every statement of solidarity affirms the hope for a future free of fear, oppression and contempt for humanity. Aggression may seek to break morale, instill fear and undermine resistance, but courage and solidarity endure. Germany's message, echoed through Pistorius, is clear. International law, human decency and support for Ukraine remain unwavering. The winter may bring hardship, but it cannot extinguish resolve. Ukraine endures, the world watches, and humanity matters. Boris Pistorius's words capture the essence of this moment, a combination of condemnation for acts of aggression and a powerful reassurance that Ukraine is not alone, that international commitment and solidarity will not waver. In the streets of Kyiv, among the rubble, and across the global stage, these principles resonate, underscoring that even in the darkest moments, resilience and moral responsibility prevail. Aggression is met with resistance, hardship is met with aid, and the future is defended by those who refuse to abandon justice and humanity.
Struktur an. Es geht Putin sehr erkennbar und klar darum, den Winter für die Ukraine so unerträglich wie möglich zu machen, die Moral zu zerstören und den Widerstandswillen der Ukrainerinnen und Ukrainer zu brechen. Das gelingt ihm nicht und dennoch sind die Angriffe furchtbar, verstoßen übrigens auch massiv gegen Völkerrecht. Mehr Menschenverachtung ist kaum vorstellbar. Für uns ist klar, wir werden die Ukraine nicht alleine lassen. Sie kann sich weiterhin auf uns verlassen. Das haben wir